We've now traveled across Vietnam in just about every way you can. Planes, buses, and now trains. And if we're being honest, we were really looking forward to this one. Because train travel feels like it should fit perfectly into slow travel. Today we're traveling on Vietnam Railways. We're taking the train from Da Nang to Nha Trang. It's going to be about a 10-hour journey along Vietnam's coast. You're not skipping the country, you're moving through it. But there's a catch. Vietnam's train system only runs north to south along the coastline. No inland routes, so your options are limited. And we had to decide which stretch would actually give us the experience that we were looking for. If you're new here, we're two traveling after one, a couple of empty nesters on a mission to explore the world and share all the tips we pick up along the way. Like and subscribe to our channel for everything slow and nomadic travel, practical tips, destination guides, and in-depth information to help you plan your next adventure. We landed on the Da Nang to Nha Trang route. It's not the longest journey in Vietnam, but it's also not a short one. The total trip was about 11 hours and 15 minutes. And what really drew us to it was the scenery. This stretch is known for some of the most coastal views in the country. Now we also had to decide, seat or sleeper, and for us, that was an easy choice. We went with a 4-berth sleeper cabin, even though we were traveling during the day. Because for slow travel, comfort matters. And surprisingly, this turned out to be one of the best decisions we made. We were the only people in the entire cabin car. Vietnam's railway system dates back to the late 1800s under French colonial rule. It was designed to connect key regions across the country for trade, transport, and control. The main line is called the Reunification Express today, and it runs over 1,700 kilometers from Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh City. It was heavily damaged during decades of war and later rebuilt after reunification in 1975. And what's interesting is that you could still see that history today, especially in places like Dalat, where the original French-built rail lines and stations still exist, even though they're no longer part of the main system. The design, the layout, and even some of the train cars still carry that influence. Booking this wasn't as straightforward as you might expect. Vietnam Railway's website does not accept most foreign credit cards directly. We use the Vexere app to book. Other online booking options include One2Go Asia and Baolau. Through the app, we were able to select our train, the SE21, choose our exact car and cabin, and pick our beds. The total cost was $173.14 for 2 people in a 4-berth sleeper cabin. For comparison, the soft seats were around $25 to $40 per person, and the VIP 2-berth cabin is about $90 to $120 per person. We chose the middle option for comfort and value. The Da Nang train station was actually very easy to navigate. We arrived about an hour early, and right inside the station there's a Highlands coffee. We grabbed drinks for 120,000 dong, or $4.56, using a credit card. Inside there's a waiting area and also a VIP lounge. The cost for the VIP lounge is 20,000 dong, or 76 cents a person. It has softer seating, tables, and water and tea. But honestly, it wasn't necessary. The station itself was quiet. Announcements were made in both Vietnamese and English, and there are 3 tracks to board from, and everything is clearly displayed on screens. When the train arrived, we walked directly across the tracks to our platform. Each car is clearly labeled, and there's a staff member at each entrance checking tickets before you board. No printed ticket was needed. We used our digital version on our phone. We just boarded the SE21 train. We're heading down to Nha Trang. We booked a 4-person room we got the 2 lower beds. It's looking like there's not going to be anyone in the room with us, and this is what it looks like. We were in car 10, cabin 1, beds 1 and 2, lower bunks. The cabin included a soft mattress, a packaged pillow and blanket, a small table, and some slippers. Very small, as Dan quickly found out. There's also USB charging ports, power outlets, which are faster for charging with an adapter, and overhead lighting controls. There was no Wi-Fi on board. For storage, our bags fit under the bed, and there's also an upper rack for larger luggage. The official limit is 20 kilograms per person, but no one checked our bag weight. Each car has a bathroom that was cleaned regularly, toilet paper, we brought our own but we didn't need it, and a separate hand washing sink. There's also hot water and cold purified water. Great if you want to bring your own food or drinks. There are 2 ways to get food: a QR code menu where you can order from your seat, pay with cash, and have it delivered to your cabin, or the food cart, which comes through regularly. It announces itself or knocks on your door. We ordered through the app some beef pho and drinks, and honestly, it was better than expected. Hot, fresh, and made to order. Menu items range from pho, rice dishes, snacks and fruit, coffee, beer, and soft drinks, and the prices were between 10,000 and 70,000 dong, or about 40 cents to $3. The journey starts off pretty quietly. Rice paddies dominate the landscape, small communities, daily life, and even abandoned structures and relics from the past. The major stops along the way include Da Nang, Tra Keo, which is actually about 40 minutes south of Hoi An, so you could board the train from here instead of heading up to Da Nang and getting on there. We arrived at this stop about an hour after we boarded the train. Tam Khe, Quang Nai, Bing Sun, Duc Pho, Bong Sun, Yi Tri, Tui Hua, and then finally Nha Trang. Some stops were just a few minutes, some have vendors along the tracks, but we wouldn't recommend getting off. The train does not wait. As we got closer to Nha Trang, this is where the journey really changed. Cliffs, ocean, beaches, islands in the distance, and then the sunset. One side of the train, mountains and golden light, and the other, coastline stretching as far as you could see. This is something that you just don't get any other way. Once it got dark, there wasn't much to see, which made us even more confident that choosing a daytime train was the right move. As we entered Nha Trang, the city lights came into view and both sides of the train came alive again. We arrived around 7:05 p.m. The station is centrally located. It's a 15-minute walk to the beach, or you can take a grab like we did for $1.50. Super easy. So if you're thinking about taking the train here in Vietnam, there are a few things we definitely recommend based on our experience. First, go with a sleeper cabin if you can. Even during the day, having that extra space and comfort makes a huge difference, especially on a longer route like this. We'd also strongly suggest booking a daytime train. The views are what really make this experience special, and once it gets dark, you're not really going to see much of anything. Now, one thing we were really glad we brought was a travel adapter. There are power outlets in the cabin, and they charge much faster than the USB ports, so we'll link the one we use here and below. There's also no Wi-Fi on board, so make sure you download everything you want ahead of time: shows, music, podcasts, whatever you'll want for those quieter stretches of the trip. For staying connected, we've been using a Viatel eSIM, but we also recommend Airlo, which has worked really well for us throughout our travels. We'll include that link as well. Food is available on the train, and honestly, it was better than we expected. But if you prefer having your own snacks, it's still a good idea to bring a few things with you. And one small tip that made a big difference for photos: if you want to avoid window glare, the bathroom window is always open and actually one of the best places to get clear shots. If you're planning on spending time in this region, we also have a full breakdown of what it costs to live in Hoi An for a month, and we'll link that here. For us, this wasn't about getting from Da Nang to Nha Trang, it was about everything in between, and that's really what slow travel is all about. Would you take the train for views like this, or would you still choose to fly? Let us know in the comments. If you're planning a trip to Vietnam or thinking about slowing down your travels, that's exactly what we share here. Real experiences, real costs, and the details that actually help you make decisions. If that's the kind of travel you're looking for, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you want to see what this lifestyle looks like day to day, we share more of that over on Facebook, so come follow along there as well. Happy travels!